Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Casper Network, but I do want to start off with a few things. In crypto, we do see a few coins come along that just completely take everyone by storm, shock everyone and say, wow, I should have bought that coin when it was X or so amount per coin. A few coins that pop in my mind when I do think about this is ADA. ADA was one that shocked a lot of people. A lot of people weren't even talking about it or buying it until, guess what? The big bang started. Another one is, of course, Solana and then Dogecoin. Now, there's a ton of other tokens out there as well. XRP was one of those tokens, for the longest time. If we go back in time, nobody cared about XRP during this entire time from, 2013, even previously before that, 2013, 2014, 2015, all the way up until you had in 2017, this big boom happened. And then we all know about 2017, 2018's all-time high. And then ever since, it kind of just went sideways. A lot of these coins take this entire market by storm. ADA, Solana, and of course Dogecoin are a few that I really kind of look at because these are like the main ones that everyone is aware of. XRP, everyone is aware of as well. But, for the most part, this is where I do believe we are at with Casper. If we look at Casper on the 1 year chart, it looks great. It looks like it's in a nice uptrend. It's still looking pretty good. We go back to the all-time chart, we're practically dead in the water. And the thing is that even if we get rid of the ICO, right? There's the ICO gone. Here's a nice little run up back in November. I mean, look at this chart. So who's buying this chart? I could tell you, smart money. Smart money that has done their research on what's happening around Casper. I see a few things getting thrown out there. The market cap idea, in terms of like the market cap making all-time highs while the price is still kind of sitting sideways because of the total supply, how Casper doesn't have a max supply, and I hear it all the time. And I like hearing this, right? Because I've talked about it in the past as well. Like, as a lot of these tokens come out and shock the market, you hear a lot of the FUD after the fact. But you also hear FUD before that as well. Dogecoin, for the longest time, I seen, people telling us, hey, you don't want to be buying Dogecoin at all. Dogecoin is garbage. It doesn't have utility. It's this, it's that, it's a meme, it's blah, blah, blah. And then if you weren't buying during all of this time, you probably wish that you bought up here. A lot of these coins are very similar. Also, Dogecoin does not have a max supply either. And I'm not saying like, hey, that's a good thing. I'm just saying like, as we look at some of these tokens like ADA, today ADA has about roughly 35 billion in supply. The total supply and max supply is about roughly 36 billion and 45 billion. A lot of the top tier coins in this market also have very large supplies. It's not a bad thing depending on the token use case. Meaning if your token actually has enterprise grade use case application tied to it, then those tokens are most likely going to be utilized. In Casper's point, right, like we don't have a max supply. It has an 8% year over year inflation rate tied to it. And to some people, that might be a big turnoff. And that's totally fine. I'm not here to sell you guys Casper. As we look at Casper today, I think that we are in a very similar situation to ADA, going all the way back when it was just going sideways, Solana when it was just going sideways, or even any of these other tokens that just go sideways until the big boom happens. Now with Casper, it's hard to gauge on how high we will go. That's why we have to make sure that we are de-risking ourselves along the way. As we look at today's supply, we do know that almost 95% of the supply is out in circulation. We also know that about roughly 74% almost is totally staked, meaning 74% of the supply is practically staked and locked up. We see more and more individuals staking the supply as more and more holders come in. Sitting at about roughly 37,000 holders, we are still very early on Casper, in my opinion. We also still have the IPv deployment waiting on standby. 145 out of the 25 million patents were minted so far. I think that this is going to start to kick back up here in a little bit. Probably will happen in quarter 3, quarter 4 of this year. I'm still very excited for this deployment because there's a lot of money on the line tied to this. Like I said, today's Casper market cap is sitting at about roughly $443 million. We've talked about how this could be $7 to $10 billion worth of patents pending. I said going all the way back to April 14th, 75% of a token supply is locked away, sitting under $500 million in market cap still. Enterprises are building on it with $7 to $10 billion waiting to be tokenized on the network at any moment, not listed on Binance, Coinbase, and other T1 exchanges, probably nothing. Now, the $7 to $10 billion is not going to happen immediately. It's going to happen over time. But I'm still excited for this because that's $7 to $10 billion worth of value tokenized on a network that is worth less than $500 million in market cap. What do you think is going to happen? Also, yes, this isn't listed on massive exchanges. Qcoin is the only one that has this listed besides, Gate.io, Huobi, Bithumb, and a few other ones. This still has Binance, Coinbase, and other T1 exchanges that have an opportunity to list this token. And I do believe that they will list Casper because of the things tied to it in terms of the announcements. We also have Casper 2.0 still on the roadmap. There's probably NDAs. I mean, there's a lot here. There's a lot of substance. And talking about IPW, I know that we've talked about IPW enough. It's one of the biggest use cases of Casper right now. And it's probably going to still be that spotlighted use case because guess what? They're hyper-focused on this use case still. This didn't deploy all of the patents yet. It's going to be over time, but they're still working with them. When you see IPW launches revolutionary platform and deployment of 25 million patent NFTs on hybrid Casper blockchain and Hyperledger Fabric network. With this is the largest deployment in history. And as we do scroll down here, we do see that IPW is revolutionizing the intellectual property system using blockchain. Intangible assets represent 90% of the S&P 500's value. That's well over 30-some trillion dollars. But patents, a large percentage of those intangibles, are underutilized and undervalued. There are approximately 25 million active patents worldwide, but the asset owners generally misunderstand their holdings, causing low utilization and commercialization rates, including financing, due to a lack of transparency and standardized asset valuation metrics that asset classes have. This amounts to over $1 trillion in lost IP opportunities annually. That is a big amount of money lost per year. So as we do look at this is a game changer in the trillions of dollars worth. And although, yes, this will just be 7 to 10 billion at first, but imagine what this could expand into. Blockchain meets IP, how IPW is changing the game with hybrid Casper blockchain and Hyperledger Fabric network. Again, we already know how they're changing the game. It's all through tokenization. Tokenization is probably one of the most overlooked use cases around crypto in this space right now. Everyone wants the big money use cases. And like I said, this could very well be a big money use case. It is, in fact, a big money use case when you look at the S&P 500. Intangible assets represent 90% of the S&P 500. And when you look at patents, they are a large percentage of those intangibles. And that is $30 trillion worth of value right there. So again, I do think that this is a huge use case. And it's only going to continue to grow from here on out. And tokenization on Casper is a game changer. It really is a game changer. And we even do see over here, wondering why we talk about tokenizing assets with smart contracts. Here are the top 3 reasons. To boost efficiency and transparency, easier tracking and transfer ownership, revolutionize traditional markets by fractionalizing assets. Every big player is on board with tokenization. And we see a lot of valuations getting thrown around, from 5 to 10 trillion to 15 trillion to 20 trillion to even upwards of $100 trillion plus. And even the World Economic Forum projected $867 trillion worth of value could be disrupted by blockchain. And we know that this figure has grown drastically with derivatives hitting $1.2 quadrillion. And you might be saying, Nick, what the hell are you even talking about? $1.2 quadrillion? Like, this has to be nonsense, right? But it's not. There's so much money out there that a lot of people don't even realize. Derivatives are valued at $1.2 quadrillion. That money could be affected by tokenization. There's so much money out there that will be affected by this space in the next couple years. And well over the next couple decades as well, I do think that a large portion of the money out there will be on chain. Now, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to happen in time, which is, again, another big thing that I look forward to. But listen, we won't have to wait 10, 20, 40 some years to even see that amount of money tied to crypto. No, it's going to happen also pretty quickly, right? We're going to start to see trillions coming over to the space. In fact, we already hit $3 trillion as an all-time high for the global crypto market cap back in November of 2021. I project, and I predicted many times in the past, that the value of crypto could rise to $5 to $7 trillion with upwards of possibly $10 trillion by the next major cycle run. Going off of just a low figure of $5 trillion though, and as we do look at Casper, I do think that Casper could have a significant run, which we will talk about here in a second. But like I said, big names like Bank of America are even forecasting that transformative role of tokenization in finance, right? Like this is going to be a big game changer. They even said that tokenization could transform financial and non-financial infrastructure and financial markets over the next 5 to 15 years. And yeah, although this is 5 to 15 years, I get it, right? Like nobody wants to wait that long. But I'm saying, like, you know, long term, this space is still going to thrive. In the short term, we can make a ton of money off of it and set ourselves up for lifetime wealth, generational wealth. I know, right? It's such a cliche term, generational wealth. How many times have we heard that, right? But it's true, right? Like, here's a quote from Bank of America's research team. The tokenization of traditional assets and issuance of assets in tokenized form have the potential to increase efficiencies and reduce costs across an asset's life cycle, improve the efficient allocation of capital, optimize global supply chains, catalyze a new generation of software as a service companies, and ultimately drive mainstream adoption. Like, we're not even at the big inception point around crypto. We are going to get there. And as we do look at all of the other areas of interest, like everything of value will be tokenized. We're talking about tokenizing Teslas, tokenizing ID. I mean, everything of value is going to be tokenized. Now let's talk about this, right? Like, you know, if we're seeing all these big moves happening and, you know, we're starting to talk a little bit about valuations, what's happening around crypto, right? Like, where's the next crypto market headed? Well, we know historically speaking, at the top, even if we go all the way to, you know, November of 2021. So let's fast forward here to November, basically like almost the end of November of 2021. We know that a lot of these values have changed and kind of, you know, jumped a little bit around, but we do know for the most part that the top 15 has held about roughly $15 to $16 billion in value in a $3 trillion market. Hypothetically speaking, let's just say that we go back to the $3 trillion market cap and the top 15 is still holding about $15 billion in value. Okay, worst case scenario, maybe Casper only makes it to the top 15. Okay, today Casper is sitting at, I believe, let's go back because I know that recently CoinMarketCap kind of changed their way that they look at things in terms of the UI. So today, Casper is sitting at number 90 almost. It's sitting at number 89. To get into the top 15 today, it would have to have a market cap of roughly about 5 billion. Not too unachievable. But as we do look at Casper, it would have to make a significant run to the top 15. Do I think that it could do that? Yeah, 100%. So if we're talking about that and we're just going off the $15 billion market cap potential, we're talking about roughly $1.35 for Casper. An upside of a 33x. That's pretty significant if you ask me, right? 33x, that's not bad. But it also shows you that, yes, you probably do need a decent amount of starting capital to become extremely wealthy off of Casper in this next major run up. Because I've seen a lot of people saying like, all right, it's going to go to, you know, $10. Again, it's great to think like that, but let's just think a little bit more conservative. That way that we don't have to, you know, we don't have our hopes and dreams crushed on us if it doesn't go to those prices. Okay, now let's talk about percentage. Dominance wise, today, if we go and look at the cryptocurrencies right now and we go to the top 15, top 15 is holding about roughly 0.4% market dominance. This will change drastically as we do see altcoin rotations, but just going off of 0.4%. If Casper had 0.4% of a $5 trillion market, you're looking at about $20 billion, almost $2, a 45x, $1.79. Again, this is not unrealistic. Even at a $3 trillion market cap, that's a $12 billion market cap for Casper. This is roughly $1.08, a 26x. In my opinion, $1 on Casper will happen. Is it going to happen in the next major cycle run? We'll have to see. But I also said, in my opinion, when we look at Casper, it's destined to be $1 plus token. In the next major run up, if we're talking about the overall price chart today, right? First off, we need to clear the recent high of about roughly 24 cents going all the way back to November of 2021. In my opinion, 50 cents will happen. Okay? To get to that $1 plus price, it's going to take a little bit of demand, right? Is the demand going to be there to push it to $1 plus? I believe that it will be. I've talked about it. I believe that Casper could very well be a $2 to $3 to possibly even $4 plus token, because as we look at the historical landmarks in this space, we go back to ADA's market cap, even at a $60 billion market cap. So undercutting it. A $60 billion market cap for Casper would hit a $5.38 Casper, an upside of 136x. Again, I'm not saying that this is guaranteed to happen. I'm saying that it is possible if it does a run like that of ADA. And even if we look at Dogecoin had a 30-some billion dollar market cap at this point in the market. Even if it hit a $30 billion market cap, I would still be very, very happy holding Casper today, because that would still be an upside of 67x, a $2 and almost 70 cent Casper. This is not unrealistic. Not when money is trickling down the altcoin scene. We'll have to wait. But in my opinion, a 10 to $15 billion Casper is most likely going to happen. On the high end, unconservative range, we're talking about $30 to $50 billion in market cap. And, you know, where I look at this market, I'm like, okay, you know, it has a possibility of hitting that, but is it going to? I would say, you know, 75 to possibly, you know, $90 billion of market cap. And this is like, you know, high risk weighting, because we don't know if it's going to hit that in this next run up. In my opinion, it's a low chance. But a high chance would be the 10 to $15 billion market cap area. But again, these are predictions. They are not guaranteed to happen. Do not base your investment around this. Base your investment on Casper as if it's only going to 24 cents. Why do I say this? It's not because I don't believe in Casper. It's because this is most likely going to be an area that gets targeted on Casper. This is almost like a zero doubt area. Today, at today's prices to this area, this is about a 5x. That is not bad at all. But the reason why I say to invest into Casper as if it's only going here is because it means that you are going to get a lot more Casper. That way, if we do hit, you know, $1 or $2 or $3 or $4, you name it, well, guess what? You already got your money out. You most likely sold a decent amount of Casper. You took profits. You de-risked yourself. And now you are in big profit up in these ranges. So that is why I always say, like, you know, when you're looking at some of these tokens, accumulate as if it's only going to the bare minimum. But do I believe that Casper could be a 100x opportunity? Yes. But the question is, will it happen? We don't know. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. Otherwise, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.